Welcome in to TuddyTalk 2025 Week 1. Here we are. I'm Devyn.
I'm Gifford.
And today we have our power rankings. We'll get into our punishments, and later we will have our picks for the week.
I also just wanted to mention that in the history of this league, this was the wildest draft I've ever been a part of.
This was a lot of random picks. I'm sure we'll talk about a lot of it. In each power ranking, we will be going over everybody's weakest point that we decided on.
Pros and cons.
We might not be completely correct because who really knows at this point.
But we're trying to be more humble this year, guys. We were really cocky last year. Former reigning defending champion, former two-time champion. It happens. But we've humbled ourselves down to just hoping to make the playoffs.
Comes with the territory. What can you expect?
Trying to work our way back up.
Absolutely. All right, so at 12, we're going to jump right into it. We have my co-host, Matt Gifford.
I got a lot of hate during the draft. Apple hated my draft.
I did.
Devyn definitely hated my draft. A lot of 6 running backs, I think.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's tough.
I pulled a Scott the second half of the draft.
But even the top ones that you drafted weren't.
Not ideal. I panicked. I think with the new flex system, everybody was spamming running back picks, and I did not want to pick Mixon and Swift back-to-back. That was not something I wanted to do, but I felt like I had to do it. I did not want to start Tyjae Spears or Jalen Warren. So I did what I had to do, and I'm just going to be wide receiver heavy for this year, apparently. So we'll see how that goes. I still do not think I have a shitty team. I think Marv is going to produce. I really like Garrett, obviously. Just traded for Terry yesterday. You know, new news on the block. So, and Purdy's always consistent. So we'll see where that takes me. That's all I can hope for.
Starting quick with it. I mean, yeah, like you said, everybody kind of panicked on running back, it seemed like, which is why I didn't get a running back for a long time. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10. We had 12 running backs in the first 2 rounds go before, what is that, pick 18?
That is a whopping 60% of the picks.
It's just too many running backs, guys. Come on. And in that, we allowed people like Debo to slip. We allowed Devontae Adams to go to Nate in the 3rd round, which I'm sure he was just kicking his little feet over there at his house because he didn't show up.
It's all right. You got your guy, though. You got your guy in the first round, so
yep,
that's all that matters.
That's all that I really wanted.
Yep.
However, that came at the price of letting Christian McCaffrey slip. I got Breece Hall, but I gave Apple Christian McCaffrey.
And for the second straight year, CMC has landed in Apple's lap.
Right. So going over your team real quick, Brock Purdy at the top, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift are your 2 starting running backs, which, like we said, that's his weak spot, I would say, personally.
Sure. I don't hate it, though. I mean, I don't hate it. It could be better. I'm not saying it's the greatest, but...
Garrett Wilson and Marvin Harrison, though. That's 2 studs at wide receiver. I really like that. Garrett Wilson, hopefully Aaron Rodgers can ball out a little bit.
More than 4 snaps, I would hope so.
That's a win right there.
Exactly.
Marvin Harrison, I love this guy this year.
If he's anything close to his dad, then... That's all I can ask.
All I gotta say, whoever's gonna be throwing him the ball will probably have a top 5 season. So I think he will do great for him and his quarterback. We'll go to tight end, Mark Andrews. You believe in his comeback?
I do. Not many tight ends to choose from, but I like Mark. Always been a solid contributor to each team. So
we'll see. He starts out quick, but then falls apart.
He was just in a car accident apparently too. So yeah.
Maybe Isaiah Likely will come in and take over soon.
Yeah, maybe.
Unfortunate, but that's how you go. At your flex positions, your newly acquired Terry McLaurin. I like that. And Tank Dell. I like all of the receivers in Houston this year.
I love Tanky.
He Nathaniel clutch randomly.
Nathaniel something Dell. I forgot his middle name. He's legally gonna change his name to Tank, by the way.
That's a good name. I like Tank. Tank Bisbee, Tank Dell.
And then we're going into the handcuffs, the fuck 12 region of my team.
This is a lot. Austin Eckler is a backup. Jalen Warren is a backup. Tyjae Spears is a backup.
A lot of injuries are going to happen this year.
You also had Blake Corum, who was a backup before you got rid of him.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of backups on your bench, so hopefully none of your starters go down.
But there's a reason the backups are on the fantasy bench as well as the real life.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yep.
And then you got Gabe Davis and Darnell Mooney.
Babe Davis.
Who comes in clutch every once in a while. He'll drop 50.
He's never gonna start for me. I don't care if it's a bye week. 0 point express right there.
Bullshit. Gabe, he draws you in a little bit here and there because he will score 25, 26 a week, and then just all of a sudden.
I am not falling for his Joyner Lucas looking ass.
All right, that's fine. At number 11, we have Sammy.
My opponent this week.
So the bottom two people are.
We're gonna get this from the dirt, Sammy. We're coming out of the dirt right now.
We are going to say that your weakness right now are two individual players, Gus Edwards and Jalen Waddle. Now these two have the same problem. They are both injury prone. Gus Edwards more than Jalen Waddle because just 2 years ago Jalen Waddle was the top 5 guy. Like he was really good, or top 10 I'll say before.
For sure, 1,500 yards.
I like both of the players, but if they can't stay healthy, you're just gonna fall apart.
Gus Edwards is a big boy. Needs to put down the burgers a little bit, but he's a tank. You know, that's who he is.
I really like Chase this year. Kyron, I could take it or leave it. I did want Kyron in the second if I couldn't get any other running backs, and I didn't get any of them, so it doesn't really matter.
I really like Kyron. Kyron was top 3 on my preseason poll for running back. So. Josh, of course.
Yep, you know. And the sneaky stack with Dalton Kincaid right there is really good.
I like Dalton a lot too.
Amari Cooper, he's really the only target. Jerry Judy's there, but who's going to throw to him?
Amari Cooper is low-key the low-budget version of Mike Evans. Every year, 1,000 yards, 6-7 touchdowns.
I like the comp.
Yeah.
I just don't like Deshaun Watson.
Sure.
Zach Moss, I personally don't think he's going to be the starter for very long. I think Chase Brown is going to work his way in.
Very interesting.
I don't know if either one's going to be a lead back, but they will be sharing a lot.
Now on the bench,
we got Goff. You got Bucky Irvin, who is the running back for Tampa Bay.
His first name's Bucky.
Yeah. I'll pull that up real quick. Bucky, right there. We got the Winter Soldier over there. Jacoby Myers.
I don't mind Jacoby. Jacoby's cool. Jameson is 2 catches, 84 yards every game. He's not going to get you a lot of volume, but home run ball, that's the guy right there.
Exactly. It's too early to give up on him. He had injuries, and then he bet on himself, so got suspended. Josh Downs is another one that I like.
Me too. A couple double-digit scoring games last year, so
either wide receiver 2 or 3 in Indy with Adnan Mitchell. We'll see. And then Luke Musgrave. I brought him up in our previous podcast. No, I didn't post the tight end episode. Shit.
Well, guys, there wasn't gonna be much to that episode, anyways. I think to start off the episode, we said it's not gonna be a lot here, so you're not missing a lot. Not missing a lot.
I did say Luke Musgrave will be the better tight end in Green Bay. Who knows? They have so many receivers on that team right now. So I don't know how much he's going to impact the game.
Kincaid will be your comfy little starter. Don't even worry about Musgrave.
Absolutely. So moving on, though.
Number 10.
Number 10. That's going to be me.
He's being very humble here. He drafted very well.
I don't know. Because now people
don't second guess yourself now.
Now people are saying people like Puka, it's not going to be the wide receiver 1 over there. He's hurt, and Cooper Kupp is back in form. He's going to be Stafford's number 1 guy again. I don't know. Maybe Puka's his rookie year was a fluke. We've seen it before.
That's why you got to roll the dice.
Roll the dice. That's what I'm doing. A lot of my players this year are rolls of the dice.
Even to a certain extent, Brees rolling the dice over CMC. Rolling the dice.
That honestly was more of a longevity thing, because
we're doing keepers now.
Yeah, and I want Brees for the future.
That was more your heart talking over your gut.
I'd say the other way around. I love CMC.
Okay.
My heart would be CMC, but my gut says Brees Hall's going to be around longer and better.
Sure.
Really like Kyler this year. I've been saying it for.
You've dogged him for years.
I know.
Personally, and on this podcast.
I like Marv. And
thank you.
That's what's going to happen. So
I did something right during the draft.
Nico Collins, I couldn't leave without Nico.
Nico's solid.
Again, we mentioned Devontae Adams fell pretty far because I picked Nico.
Sure.
I would rather have Nico over him. I would have taken Rashad White, but he's just not. He's not it. Sorry, Apple. Yeah, Nico. And then at tight end, I also had back Trey McBride. Now, I mentioned it to other people. I've never taken a tight end that early. I guess I'm changing my ways this year.
I guess so.
I'm humble. I'm taking tight ends early. Who am I?
That's the earliest you've taken a quarterback in a while, too, right?
It really is. I was saying before the draft, I might just let it slip all the way to the 10th.
Right.
But that didn't happen.
No.
And now we get into the young bucks. We got Rome Odunze and Rashee Rice. These two guys, I mean, Rashee produced last year.
He did produce.
He also produced a couple crimes in the offseason.
He should be in prison.
But let's not talk about that because that's not going to affect this year. That's going to affect next year. And I probably won't have him anyway, so that's fine. On the bench, we got a lot of young guys and backups.
Handcuffs.
Yes. Vidal on the Chargers. Hopefully, that's kind of rude, but they got J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. When was the last time that both of them were healthy for a significant amount of time?
Honestly, I'm surprised the team signed J.K. Dobbins. What is this, like 3 ACL tears? I don't know.
It's not great. So he's insurance. Rico Dowdle, I don't believe in Zeke too much.
Or Dalvin.
I'm not even going to mention him. That's how little I believe in him. Rico Dowdle is going to be the guy in the open field. Zeke is probably going to take it at the 5, so whatever. Tyler Algier, if Bijan goes down, that's great. Jordan Mason, if CMC goes down, that's great. I have a bunch of backups, like I said. Brian Thomas could be a breakout guy this year on the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then Khalil Shakir, when he is the number 1 in Buffalo, you won't see me too humble.
Wow.
At number 9, we have Brittany. Now,
I really like Brittany's draft.
I really like her team, but it is a bit top heavy. Okay? Okay. All right. Her name this week is Goddard, based on her tight end and Jimmy Neutron's dog.
That's where Goddard came from. I was so confused.
The picture is Goddard, the dog. Yeah. Bark, bark.
I was so confused.
Yeah. Anthony Richardson at the top. I like him, but he only played like 3 games last year and was hurt in 2 of them.
Generational talent.
It's a risky pick, which is why she got Trevor Lawrence way late in the draft. That's great. Achane, league winner, if he hits. If he stays healthy, that is a league winner right there.
I'm so proud of you.
And if he doesn't hit, then Chris will reap all of the benefits because he has Raheem Mostert and Jalen Wright, who will take all of the snaps. So I'm hoping for Devon Achane.
Me too. A-Train.
David Montgomery, like I said, you're top heavy. You have a lot of stars, and then you have people like David Montgomery who could be serviceable. But I think this is another year for Gibbs to just take another step.
Unless Dan Campbell is still reliant on, Monty produced last year. I was not expecting Monty to do as well.
Until
he got hurt.
Right. And now they really trust Jimmy Gibbs, so he's going to be worked in a lot earlier and a lot more.
Hope so.
Same team. Moving over to wide receiver, we got Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Top three.
Love him. Top 2, honestly.
Top 2.
I loved him, but I wanted a running back in the first round. Debo, another star. That's a really solid wide receiver core right there. 2 of them.
That is. Debo was injury prone last year. We do have to mention that he was injury prone, so we shall see.
But the Niners are going to be great.
I do need him selfishly for my quarterback's sake, so yeah.
Dallas Goedert, as we mentioned, is your tight end. I'm not super high on him.
Hurt all last year.
Since Zach Ertz left, we expected Goddard to take that next step, and honestly, to me, he hasn't.
No, and I think adding Jahan Dotson to the mix does not help his case at all.
No, I don't know. It's going to hurt Goddard more than it hurts Devonta Smith.
For sure.
Malik Neighbors at your flex. I really like this pick, Brittany.
I don't know about this pick.
I really like it. I think that he's going to just produce. We have seen a lot of rookie wide receivers come out and immediately impact. I think that's what he's going to do, even with Danny Dimes.
I think, personally, I think picking Neighbors over Cooper Kupp was a mistake, Brittany. No offense to you, but Going on to your next pick, Jayden Reed. I love Jayden Reed.
There you go.
He produced for me the last 4 or 5 games last year, and I don't know why he was on my radar. I was so flustered after picking Joe Mixon and DeAndre Swift back-to-back that I forgot that Jayden Reed was even on the board.
Y'all killed Gifford in the draft. He
Y'all,
fell apart.
my brain was scrambled. I was just... After Jefferson went at like 10, I was just shut out from the rest of the draft. But,
Onto the bench. Like I said, you have Trevor Lawrence. That's a good backup. Brian Robinson, he's going to be the running back one over there. I don't think Eckler's going to take too much, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Burton, I like this pick. If either Jamar Chase or T. Higgins go down.
What about that boy Trenton Irwin?
I like Burton better.
Okay.
Burton is going to be that guy. Josh Palmer, he could be the number one on the Chargers.
I love Palmer titties.
I really like Palmer.
Rashid
Shaheed, another guy who can produce if given the right opportunities.
Yep.
Chris Olave is there, so he's not going to be the one, obviously. But should he go down, Shaheed is going to be a top 15, top 20.
Wow.
I think he could be really good. Cole Kmet at tight end, backup tight end. That's fine. Whatever.
Sure. Not bad, Brittany.
Yeah, not too bad. At number 8, we have Scott. And he has changed his name a couple times, so I'm looking at it.
The number 1 overall pick.
Glad you came.
First off, Bijan offered number 1 overall. Was that worth number 1 overall pick?
It was between Bijan and Brees for me. Not a number 1 in the first round.
Okay.
I wanted a top 3 or 4 pick so that I could get one of those 2 guys. Bijan going at 1 had me nervous. I thought for sure Brees was gonna go next, and then CD got taken, so I was okay.
Yep.
Yeah, Bijan, you can't go wrong. Honestly, I like Bijan, and I like that they have a new system there. So I'm excited to see what happens. Next up at running back, we have Zamir White, and I gotta say, you took him from me, and that hurt. I wanted Zamir White. Unfortunately, I couldn't get him. At the top, though, we didn't mention it, CJ Stroud. That was your guy last year. What do you think about this pick?
Great pick. Future MVP. I don't know what year it's going to be, but he's a future MVP of this league. When it comes to Zamir White, I think Zamir is a big question mark. I saw the kid play a couple games last year, and he's solid. But as a full workload horse, I don't know how he's going to do.
I still like him. I was super excited. Obviously, he didn't do well until he came in week 15.
Damn, 22 for 145. Holy shit.
And then he started getting his touches, and he started going off.
Hopefully, he's not like a Rashad Penny type case.
Right, where he only had 4 games a year.
Right, and then retired.
I like Zamir White. I wanted him this year, and unfortunately, I didn't get him.
On the
wide receivers.
The most consistent receiver in the history of the NFL.
Oh, I guess we should say that your weaknesses we pointed out were running back 2, so Zamir White. That was a him pick. Like I said, I like Zamir White. And flex. We'll get to them soon.
Yeah.
So yeah, Mike Evans, like you alluded to. He is year in, year out, 1,000 yards, and just top of the game.
We'll see if that streak ever ends. And,
Baker's good. He signed his contract. I like Mike Evans this year.
Me too.
And then on to Calvin Ridley. Woo! Disappointing year last year. That's what I can say.
I had a front row seat to that one.
Mm-hmm. Calvin Ridley did not produce like he was supposed to, unfortunately. But, I mean, he was there here and there. I do believe that if Will Levis is able to gain some kind of control on this team, because, I mean, I haven't seen it yet.
Mayo man.
We'll see him, Calvin Ridley, rise again.
Okay.
Travis Kelce at tight end. I don't think that he's going to be number 1 this year. I think that goes to Trey McBride or Dalton Kincaid. But Travis Kelce will still be there, top 5. That's just how it is every year. Year in, year out. Lad McConkey, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Those are your 2 flex guys. Now, we put that as a con on your team.
I like Jackson.
Yeah, I do like Jackson. I like what he did last year, but it could have been better. He had so many passes behind the line of scrimmage. I do think that he will get better this year with a new offensive coordinator, new coach.
Yep.
Lad McConkey, though, is where the real question mark lies. is he going to be better than even Joshua Palmer? Is he going to be on there more than Johnston?
I don't know.
I don't know. I probably think so. I like Lad McConkey.
I like the lad.
But it's just a question because he's a rookie.
Question mark. And then here we go to your bench.
Tua.
Overpaid. But I think as a backup, man, this is fantasy, great replacement if your quarterback goes down.
I think so too. Ray Davis,
Never
backup.
heard of him in my life.
He's a rookie, isn't he?
Is he?
Backup on the Buffalo
He
Bills.
looks old as shit. That's the oldest 24-year-old I ever seen.
Yeah, rookie, age 24. I have nothing to say because I haven't seen this man play football. I'm sorry. Not the biggest college guy.
J.K. Dobbins is on his way to a fourth ACL tear.
I mean, how many times can you mention the Chargers running backs in one podcast? J.K. Dobbins is injury prone. We'll see if he can keep it up this year.
Adam Thielen is 38 years old.
He's old. But
old.
he was reliable for the first half of last year.
He was, surprisingly.
I don't know if he's going to do it again. This is his year 34
Year 34.
of being alive. He is old.
He's been in the NFL for 34 years.
Damn. That's like
And not even the
bass.
NFL record. That's crazy.
And he was good for 6 weeks of last year, and then completely fell off because he's old.
Minnesota State's finest.
There we go. All right, Wan'Dale Robinson. I haven't heard a lot about him.
His profile picture looks fucked.
He looks high as hell there. He did pretty well at the end of the season. 3 out of the last 5 games, he scored over 10.
You know what? When that pick was announced, you were like, "What the fuck?" But
yeah, because I mean, I don't know, Wan'Dale. I can't say anything about him. I don't know too much about him.
neither.
I like Malik Neighbors more. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And then Pat Fryermuth. He's
Dependable
backup
tight end.
Backup tight end. That's fine.
Yep.
Whatever. Next up at number 7, we have Eric.
Sunshine.
We put your weakness as running backs this year. And that's just honestly because you had Nick Chubb.
And I still believe maybe I just had Nick Chubb in too many years here, but I think Nick Chubb will be okay. I don't know if he'll be as explosive as he once was, but I think he's still better than Jerome Ford, even with half a leg. So
if your biggest weakness right now is your pup player,
yeah,
then you're doing something right.
I mean,
your team is really good.
Joe Burrow's solid. Derrick Henry is. I mean,
I hope he's solid. This is around the age that they start to fall off, age 30.
right.
But if he's going to do it anywhere, it's going to be in Baltimore because they like to run a lot. Lamar Jackson's going to take a lot of pressure off of Derrick Henry, and I like that.
Very true.
Kenneth Walker's going to explode this year. I don't care what anybody says.
Stolen from me.
Absolutely
I was
going to go
mad.
off.
I was so mad.
A little bit of a reach. I haven't seen him go that early in drafts, but that's fine. Whatever.
In our draft, I mean, that was a great pick because
It was.
obviously there were no running backs left after the 5th round. So
Yeah, that's what you got to do sometimes. Justin
Jettis
Jefferson.
fell to your lap at 10. I was praying that 11 would just like whoop, but nope. You took him at number 10. Great pick.
10 is already outrageous for Justin Jefferson to fall that
I
far.
almost wanted to like just yell out like Justin, but no.
I mean, yeah. What? Who else was above him? Like AJ Brown or something?
No, AJ was 12.
Oh, Jonathan Taylor was a weird one. I still think Jahmyr Gibbs could have gone behind him.
Sure.
I think he could have gone at 8. I think that would be a good place for Justin.
That's fair.
Sam Darnold. What do you think about him with Justin?
You know what? Justin Jefferson had 2 games last year where he had like over 120 yards with Mullins. So Justin Jefferson's fine, man.
QB proof.
I think he's quarterback proof.
And you're gonna have him for years on end now.
Exactly. Unless he gets hurt like last year. Last year was kind of the exception.
We don't need to mention that.
DJ Moore.
Your guy.
Stud, man.
You seem to have him a lot.
That's your guy. DJ Moore every year.
But
New contract extension.
New contract. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Chicago now.
Yep.
Caleb Williams, if he doesn't succeed this year, I don't know when he will because
he never will.
He has so many weapons. You just got to
Top
see
to
how it plays out. George Kittle at tight end.
As solid as you can get as a tight end.
He has lost a step, I'd say. I think he's fallen a little bit as far as top tier tight ends.
Really?
Maybe it's just because there's so many really good tight ends now.
Sure.
But I mean,
I think he's always like around the 800 yard mark, 5-6 touchdowns. I mean,
he can explode at any point.
sure, but there's some games
But-
where they just want him to block. But I mean, last year
He was
solid.
number 5. He was tight end 5 because he had games like the 26 point against Dallas. He had one 23 point against Jacksonville, 17 points against us, 19 points against Baltimore.
But as you scroll by, he had 1.6, 0.6.
Against Cleveland, yeah. 3 against us, 6 against Arizona. Like, he's on and off. But he gets his top 5 from those boom games.
He's not a fantasy tight end. He's an NFL tight end.
Anymore, yeah. He's, top 2 NFL tight end,
Yeah.
for sure.
Christian
Christian Kirk, I mean, he's really turned his career around in Jacksonville.
He's about as mid as you can get. Not in a bad way. I mean that in a respectful way. Christian Kirk is just boring, man.
If Amari Cooper is a poor man's Mike Evans, then Christian Kirk is a poor man's Amari Cooper. There you go. Brandon Cook.
He's Mr. 10 points, man.
Absolutely. I like Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
Brandon Cooks.
Washed,
yeah. There's nothing really to say there. Sorry.
I don't know why we didn't add that to weakness.
It should be there.
1,000%.
Brandon Cooks. I don't know who else. What? Curtis Samuel instead of Brandon Cooks?
I don't know. Start Trey Benson at this point.
Or just say screw it and go Xavier Legette.
That boy talks.
Try it out. We'll see.
Might as well.
At number 6, we have Chris.
A little low. Chris, I did not agree with. I thought you had a great team, buddy. But
Team Dino. It's in the name. Everybody knows it. He knows it. It's because it's just a lot of old people. Also, your running back 1 and 2. I mean, one of them's going to be a running back too. I don't know if both of them will be up there.
Sure.
James Conner, Raheem Mostert, they're both getting up there in age. James Conner has never played a full season.
Was Raheem's season last year a fluke?
I don't know. I mean,
Man,
Raheem-
41, 21, 22.
he was crazy last year, that's for sure. I don't think anybody expected that out of a 31-year-old Raheem Mostert.
No.
32 this year, a lot more competition. Well, a little bit more competition with Jalen right there. But that doesn't matter because he's right there on your bench.
Absolutely.
At wide receiver, I like him. I like CeeDee Lamb. I really
Wide
like
receiver
Drake
one?
London. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could see that. I think CD, then Amon-Ra. Those are the top 2.
Is Drake finally going to get that Kyle Pitts consistency that we've all been looking for?
I hope so. I really do.
He's a stud.
Is there word on Kirk Cousins? Is he playing? I haven't kept
There
up with
was
that.
word of a injury, suspension possibly. I don't know what's
Right.
going on with Kirko things.
I'm not 100% sure. I'm
Me
going to
neither. Let's
try to
look
find
up.
it. Oh,
This
he's
is
right
live.
there. Live lookup for Kirk Cousins. Says he will be ready for week 1, but that was 23 days ago. His Achilles might not be there. We'll see. Either way, though, I do like Penix. So I guess it doesn't really matter.
Michael Penix.
Michael Penix. Do you think he'll make it? Do you think he'll be good?
I don't know. They were joking like he wasn't going to get snapped till he was 30, so I'm glad he's going to get...
That's just people yapping on the internet. They don't know what they're talking about.
I'm glad he's going to get some snaps before he gets old.
Moving on to Sam Laporta at your tight end position.
Top 3 tight end in the league.
I'd say top 5.
Top 5.
Top 5. Sam Laporta.
Is he better than Kincaid?
He's up there.
Okay.
He's right around there. I mean, yeah, he could do it. He was number 1 last year, so we'll see. Cooper Kupp. Was last year a fluke or was the year before a fluke?
Is he going to return to form?
I mean, I hope so because that was an exciting time. Oh, excuse me. That was 21?
Yeah.
2021 was his Triple Crown?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. He's getting up there. He's 31 now.
Yes. Keenan Allen, as consistent as you can come on the Chargers. He is now coming into a stacked wide receiver room, and I don't know what to expect from the rookie. I don't know where Caleb's going to lean his hand towards, so it's a touchy situation for the old Lion.
Age 32 season. He missed a few games at the end of the year last year.
Very rarely plays the whole season.
He's back at practice, so hopefully that he can come in and produce.
Sure.
Marshawn Lloyd starting on your bench. We got a bunch of backups. Marshawn Lloyd is the first one.
I just gave you Blake Corum a day or two ago. Wicks, I also gave you. You got Tyson Chandler. Is his name Tyson? Ty Chandler.
Who is another backup for Aaron Jones. I don't like it, Jones. I don't like talking about him, so
Or just
whatever.
fast forward.
Get through that. Chuba Hubbard is a starter, so nice, solid guy. Every once in a while, he does produce pretty well, actually, I think. Yeah, 15, 17, 24, 10, 11.
Is he starting over Jonathan Brooks?
Yes, because Brooks is injured for a little bit.
Gotcha.
I believe. Jalen Wright, I like if both guys go down, or even, I mean, if one of them goes down.
Or, yeah.
He could be all over the place. Achan's going to play slot. We're going to see a lot of backups and weird formations there. Blake Corum is a good guy. If anything happens to Kyron,
Yep.
Corum's
I took the risk giving him to you, but I needed to do it.
IR, you got Odell and Keaton Mitchell.
Yeah, this isn't 2012.
They're whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anyway, at number 5, we have Tommy. And Tom, we gave you a couple weaknesses. We said that Jonathan Taylor is getting, it's getting to a point where if he doesn't produce this year, he's going to drop to the 4th round.
The clock for a running back is a lot different than other positions, and being 25, this is a make or break year for Jonathan Taylor. He needs to play all 18 games. He needs to just be solid, and he needs to return back to form to
3 years ago
to retain fantasy relevance.
It's been a long time since we've seen prime Jonathan Taylor.
Yep.
Let's hope that he comes back.
Jordan Love, the highest paid quarterback
Crazy.
in the league.
At least for a little bit. I mean, it's gonna go away. That's just what happens. You pay your guys early. That's what you want to do.
Over 11 games.
Mm-hmm. Jordan Love, he's solid. I like him. However, I do like your backup quarterback better.
Wow.
Hot take, I think Caleb Williams is going to be fantastic this year.
So you think Jaden's just going to go off because you like Jaden more than Caleb?
Yeah.
Wow.
I really I see RG3 in this year for Jaden.
With stronger legs.
Absolutely. Maybe the same field, same team, but stronger legs.
Travis Etienne, a sleeper. Even though he was picked pretty early this year, I feel like he always gets overlooked when it comes to discussions of best fantasy running backs in the league. He's just solid.
He was number 3 last year, and he doesn't get the respect that I think that is earned.
He should be, honestly, if we're going off fantasy rank, he should be a first-round pick, like a lower-end first-round pick, like 12,
yeah,
like 11, 12.
Yeah, he went a little later than that, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Brandon Ayuk at wide receiver. I mean, he just signed, so hopefully he's good. He is one that I'm not super huge on, never have really been.
Comes and goes.
Yeah. Devontae Smith is somebody that I really like.
But he also comes and goes.
He also comes and goes. So, I mean, if everybody on your team performs the way they can, then you're solid. Excellent. First team in the league. But a lot of hit or miss here.
Another one. Kyle Pitts. Another make or break season. He's got Kirk thrown to him, and if he doesn't put up TJ Hawkinson-like stats, it is time to give up permanently on Kyle Pitts.
I hope that Kirk Cousins can come back and be just as strong as he was before, because he is a really good quarterback, but an Achilles tear is brutal.
Serious.
So we'll see. At flex, this was your biggest weakness spot. Zay Flowers, Devin Singletary. Don't like either one. I think Zay Flowers, I mean, I guess he's really young, so it's hard for me to say that I don't like him. I just don't like Baltimore wide receivers. I'll say that. How about that?
Except tight ends.
Yeah, tight ends are fine because he has proven it. He has shown that he is able to produce with Lamar Jackson. Zay Flowers hasn't proven anything.
Again, I don't mind Zay. I think Lamar's going to have to spread the ball around somehow, some way, and Zay's just going to be another target on the field. So,
that's fine. Devin Singletary,
no, he's going to get destroyed behind that Giants line. He's not going to get any yards.
Absolutely. Saquon could do it because Saquon is twice as big as Devin Singletary.
Yes. You know how many stiff arms Saquon had to hand out in New York? Ridiculous.
Too many. Mentioned earlier, Caleb Williams, I really like him. Khalil Herbert, same team as the running back. DeAndre Swift is going to miss some games. That's just what he does. But
no, be brutal about DeAndre Swift right now.
No, DeAndre Swift, he has proven that he can take a step up.
Okay.
If he's in the right conditions. I don't know if Chicago is the right conditions, however. Khalil Herbert, I had him all of last year hoping that he would be able to prove something. He never really did, so, I mean, backup running back is the best you can say
He's
there.
battling Roshan Johnson.
Yeah, it's rough. I just don't like it. Michael Wilson is a nobody.
Skip.
Don't like him. Luke McCaffrey is riding on name recognition right now.
Poor kid's a rookie. He's already just riding on that.
it sucks to say, but he needs to make his own name.
You know what? I'll say this for Luke. He arguably could be a wide receiver 2 in Washington, which is insane, which he's even battling for. But like wide receiver 2 and 3 are for the taking in Washington at the moment.
You think he's better than Diami Brown?
I don't know who the fuck Diami Brown is.
He's the wide receiver 2 over there.
I don't know who the fuck that is. All I know is that I got Scary Terry. That's all.
Latest news 8 days ago for Luke McCaffrey. Luke McCaffrey has not emerged as an obvious top 4 wideout.
Top 4
on the Commanders.
This man's trash.
I don't like what I'm seeing.
Top 4.
Oh, they also have Olamide, so there you go.
Who?
Olamide Zacchaeus.
Oh, I know exactly this.
Man, they have a lot of names that I recognize, but
that boy Jamison Crowder,
Byron Pringle.
Oh my god,
they have a lot of people.
You want to reconsider the Jaden Daniels sake?
No, not at all. Terry is going to go off this year.
Jaden's gonna make Jamison Crowder look like fucking.
Jamison Crowder is their like 5th wide receiver.
Diami Brown.
Diami Brown, he's good.
Zach Ertz is there.
Jesus Christ, just retire. Okay.
Go home to your soccer wife.
Old ass. Demario Douglas. I mean,
I don't know nobody.
You have to believe in New England really hard if you like Demario
I don't know anybody
Douglas.
on the Patriots.
I like Jalen Polk better, but Drake May probably not going to be too great this year.
I know my boy Rich Homie Taekwon.
He kind of looks like Cam Newton.
A little bit.
Demario Douglas. All right, and Jaden Addison. Jaden Addison.
Jordan Addison.
Oh my God, Jesus! I said his name wrong twice.
We're
having a seizure over here. Christ, what the
We're keeping that in there.
That's fine. I'll have you seizing on the couch. Jordan Addison.
Jordan Addison looks very sad in his profile picture, and that is because he will be out of the league by this year. He is a troublemaker.
Why is his picture like that? What the hell?
Because that's his mugshot. They just cropped the Vikings uniform on
I wouldn't put it past Sleeper to put a mugshot on somebody's player profile.
Jordan Addison will be out of the league. He's a troublemaker. He doesn't know how to stop. And yeah.
Outside of legal issues, let's hope that he recovered from the time that
he's very talented. He's very talented.
He was carted off on August 14th with an ankle injury.
Oh, more for Jettas.
Hopefully he's okay. I'll just say that. Unfortunately, he did lose his quarterback this year. JJ McCarthy's out for the year. Like it's breaking news. Doesn't matter. Sam Darnold at quarterback there. All right. Next up, we have Nate.
The retirement home.
Yep. Wide receiver retirement estates. Nate, like he just said, your players are old. You also have no bench.
Damn.
If we're being real. Over here at running back, you have Jahmyr Gibbs. Really like the pick.
Me too.
Like the guy. He's super cool on the field, and I like it. That's all I can say.
Now your other running back, he does not like.
I do not like Josh Jacobs. He had one really good year, but I just don't see him succeeding.
I think it also didn't help that he had his best game of the season against us in Seattle. Had like 200 some rushing yards. So
maybe I'm biased.
That also does not help the case.
Right. Josh Jacobs is the only running back in Green Bay at this point. So who can say? He's going to get a lot of volume. He's playing on Friday.
I guess so.
I didn't know there are games on Friday. So make sure you check your lineup.
I guess so. So yeah, and your QB's going to play on Friday.
Oh, sick. Jalen Hurts. You got your guy. I love that.
Yep.
Love that for you.
I wasn't able to get a Seahawk this year, so it's always nice to get a guy that you root for because it's hard getting guys on the opposing team.
Right. I mean, Tatani got like 6 of them on his rivals. So
he was stupid for doing that.
Ridiculous. Anyway, at wide receiver, Devontae Adams, Stephon Diggs. Like we said, retirement home. These two guys are elderly, to say the least.
Devontae still produces, man.
Stephon fell off last year. I'll say that right now. I don't know if he lost a step. I don't know.
I love how 1,100 yards is like losing a step.
No, at the end of the year.
Yes.
Like
it's at the second half.
Fell off at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. Yes.
Like, he just wasn't good at the end of the year last year.
He has to beat the locker room cancer allegations because I think him and Josh Allen had a falling out for sure.
I don't know if that's what it was. I don't know if he lost a step. It could be any one of those. It could be a mixture of the two. But
had that bad drop in the playoffs against the Chiefs.
It's tough. It's tough. And I really like Nico and Tank, so we'll see. There's already a rapport there with CJ Stroud too. At tight end, you have one of the top 3 tight ends. Number 2 last year, Evan Ingram.
Went from one of the most underachieving tight ends to a breakout season last year. So
just had to escape New York.
That
makes sense though. At your flex, I like your flex. These are 2 solid guys that
I like Keon.
They could make a difference.
I don't like Javonte.
I like Javonte still. Unfortunately, I'm still a believer in the guy. But we got to see it.
We got to see it to believe it. And
Keon Coleman.
Keon's going to go off. I don't care. Keon is funny.
So?
Personality off the field.
Doesn't mean anything.
Jamal
Williams is funny, but he did the ass last year.
Keon is marketable, and he's going to be in a commercial sometime this year.
That's fine. Baker Mayfield was in commercials. Johnny Football was in commercials.
Baker's a Pro Bowler.
Everybody's a fucking Pro Bowlers nowadays.
I think Tyrod Taylor was a Pro Bowler.
Yeah, get out of here. Keon Coleman has a couple people to compete with up in Buffalo. They're all around the same level. That's what I gotta say. Khalil Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman. They're all around the same level, I'd say. But Keon has the youth advantage. Going to your bench, like we said, I don't like it too much. Adonai Mitchell could be something like we mentioned earlier in the podcast.
Sure, but
Zeke is old.
We're going to other 5. Mims trash. Dubs mid. I'm not a big Dubs guy. Zeke old, and then Judy mid,
and then Braylon Allen on the Jets. He's a rookie. That's my backup. So
what do we call guys like Judy? A jag.
Oh, is that what? Just a guy?
Just a guy.
Just a guy.
Steve Smith labeled that him last year. So just a guy.
All right. I like your team. I don't like the bench. That's what I'll say. But that doesn't matter as long as your team doesn't get hurt.
It's concerning because with an old ass team like that, if someone gets hurt, you can't depend on your bench.
I think honestly you got a bunch of old people because they all fell to you.
They did fall to you.
And I think that had you kicking your feet up over there and just being super happy. At number 3,
is your wife.
We have Paris.
Your wife.
Harris like France.
Yep.
Lamar Jackson at the top.
Reigning MVP.
Easy dub. Isaiah Pacheco. Really like the pick. Odd to go there at number 2 though. In round 2.
Don't worry about me. I'm just a Pacheco hater. I just don't think he's anything special. I don't think he breaks out like that.
He needs to do more this year, obviously. He missed a couple games.
Some good games that I must have just looked over.
Yeah, he had some good games. It's because he's the only guy. He's the only guy in Kansas City. Like, who else is gonna take the ball from Mahomes?
I like James Cook. I think James Cook is gonna get more opportunities, and he's gonna benefit off Stephon leaving.
This honestly could be 2 top 10 running backs.
Potential.
And I really like that. Throw in Tyreek Hill and wide receiver. That's a lethal 3-headed monster.
He should have had the receiving record last year. Somehow tailed off toward the end. If we could see, like, he blew it
and got hurt.
Oh, he did get hurt.
Yeah, that's why he's saying that he's full health this year. He got hurt here and then kind of just whimpered.
14, 10, and 17. Yeah.
Well, when you're off getting 25, 20, 30, 33, yeah, the last few weeks kind of whimpered.
Sure.
It did bring Nate almost to a championship last year, though. And then your biggest question mark for me, which, I mean, if this is your biggest one, it's not that bad. George Pickens doesn't have a quarterback. They haven't proven anything.
That hurts me to say.
It does. It hurts me too. I mean, obviously, we say it again, or we'll say it again now. You don't know until they're on the field together, but
yeah. Russ does not have a good history with receivers
lately. Brock Bowers, new in town in Vegas. I like the guy. I like the tight end, the player. We'll see if he is able to be force-fed the ball, because that's what you need to do with a guy like Brock Bowers. It's like Kyle Pitts.
Highest rated rookie tight end in the draft, so we shall see.
I like him.
Kincaid type hype this year.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Ramondre.
He's solid. I mean, that's just what you get from Ramondre. However, I mean, last year, no, he's solid when he plays.
How'd you pronounce his name again?
Ramondre?
Oh, I thought you said Ramondre or something.
No, get out of here. I don't misspeak. He missed a lot of time last year. That's why he fell all the way to running back 36. If you look at his stats before, they were okay. He broke 20 once, it looks like. Almost got it a second time, but I think he's solid as a flex. That's fine. Deontay Johnson is where I kind of fall off. I don't like the guy as a player too much. It's been a couple years since he had that 150 target year or whatever.
Sure. Yeah.
He's consistent in Pittsburgh.
I think he had a year in Pittsburgh where he had no touchdowns, right? Wasn't that the thing with him?
That was the thing with the whole Steelers.
Oh.
Kenny Pickett didn't throw to wide receivers.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
What didn't that happen with Alex Smith in Kansas City too?
Possibly.
I feel like that happened. Possibly. Anyway, Zach Charbonnet, good running back in college. Hasn't really done too much in the NFL.
He's
obviously,
a handcuff.
Because he's handcuffed. Doesn't matter. DeAndre Hopkins, questionable right now. He's hopeful that he'll play the season opener.
I think it's time for D-Hop to ride off into the sunset peacefully.
Even as wide receiver 22 last year? You think he's gonna have a Tennessee Julio Jones year?
Not that bad.
Not that bad.
And it's not even Julio's fault, but we shall see.
Cortland, he could be good. Bo Nix looks pretty solid in the preseason.
He looked pretty solid in the preseason for sure.
But Cortland had 10 touchdowns last year?
Yes.
And still was not great. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10 touchdowns and was still wide receiver 35.
Who was his quarterback last year?
Russell Wilson. Sorry, George Pickens.
Yeah.
Next up, Jahan Dotson just got sent to Philly.
I think that hurts his case. You really liked him on Washington, but in Philly, probably not.
I wanted him to break out.
He's only 24?
Yeah, he's a young guy.
I'm old as hell.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. And then Johnson, we mentioned him quickly in passing earlier.
He's got half a hand.
He has an opportunity there. If he can seize this, he was a first-round pick, wasn't he? And, if he can show something, anything.
Stick him.
He will be able to.
Put some on them gloves, man.
Ben Sinnott, I like him. I like the guy.
No report on the guy.
But, yeah, we'll see. He's a backup tight end. Doesn't matter. At number 2, we have your reigning champion right now.
Boo.
Tatani Harris. At the top, Matt Stafford waited on a quarterback for a long time. It seems like.
Well, he
does have Jaden Daniels.
Drafted Jaden, but he got Matt immediately after the draft. So
yes.
He must have saw a scouting report. I guess Matt
played against Tampa Bay. Jaden Daniels is, so maybe he didn't like that.
I guess Matt is playing against his former team.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, Stafford's solid. Either way, quarterback is really good.
I think Alvin Kamara is a big question mark. He's another guy, hasn't been consistent in a couple years.
He was good last year. What are you talking about? He was running back 14 last year.
Oh, shit.
He was good. Look at those stats.
Talking out my ass.
Yeah,
okay.
You are.
Never mind. Alvin still got it. I didn't know if Alvin still had it or not. Okay.
He has lost a step. He's a little slower. He's not as shifty as he was.
Maybe that's what I got it confused with. Maybe.
Yeah, but he's still the guy in New Orleans.
I never doubted that he was the guy. I just didn't know if he was still producing.
No, I like him personally.
Okay, all right. No, I like Alvin too. Okay.
Your biggest question mark for me, I'll just get into it, is Aaron Jones. I don't like him. I can't say that I never had because I have had him on my team.
You did have him.
And that's what made me not like him.
Yes.
I don't believe in Aaron Jones in Minnesota. I don't like Minnesota too much this year.
I personally think Aaron Jones is going to quit on the Minnesota team. I think he's going to forcibly get himself injured or just sit out. I really do.
He seems like that kind of guy.
He's used to being a winner. He's used to being a winner. So, being on that kind of team just totally kills your morale.
You're solid all around, so we're going to continue with wide receivers. A.J. Brown, DK Metcalf.
Yeah, it doesn't get more solid than
Two
that.
guys with 2-letter first names. I love it.
Yeah. College teammates?
Were they? I have no idea.
Ole Miss, I think. Yep, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, 5 years.
Ole Miss,
5 years. They were, dang.
college teammates.
College teammates. That's crazy. What a poll. I really like DK this year, just because I really like the Seahawks this year. DK Brown is always going to be solid.
DK needs to explode this year. If they don't feed him the damn ball, I'm gonna be pissed off.
He doesn't get the ball enough.
It's ridiculous.
And I mean, he cries about it. Like,
I would cry too. Or else he's gonna start body slamming people.
Right? Jake Ferguson, last year's tight end 8.
Solid last year.
Yeah, man. Solid. I mean, that's all you can ask for from a tight end.
Fucking
really.
Tony Pollard, fucking in the red zone. Fucking ridiculous.
That's true. There were a few games that would have pissed me off.
This isn't even.
Who would ever have Tony Pollard on their team? That's crazy.
This isn't even like I don't know who Dak Prescott is on, but Dak threw the most 2-yard touchdowns I've ever seen in my life last year. I was just like, man, that's crazy.
Dak is on Chris's team with that CD Lamb stack.
Oh, great stack, Chris.
Yep. T. Higgins, I like him. I like T. Higgins too.
Inconsistent to
as
me.
Long as Joe Burrow was healthy. That's all.
I don't mind T, but a little inconsistent.
You need Joe Burrow to be healthy in order to have T be good.
Not only just that, to play well. You remember the first 5 games for Burrow last year where we were confused why he was playing so bad?
Yeah. He was injured, wasn't he?
His little handy.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels at quarterback on your bench right now. I think he will be your starter in no time.
The next RG3 prodigy.
Absolutely. I was thinking about taking Chase Brown in the draft, but you ended up taking him just before I did.
Chase is cool.
I think he's going to be better than Zach Moss this year.
Chris, God, please win.
Yeah, Chris Godwin. Mike Williams is on the Jets.
Not a good experience. Chris Godwin.
Mike Williams on the Jets. We'll see. I mean, he doesn't play full years. So when he's playing, he'll do really well. I remember Chanel had him that year that she won, and he went off.
If he didn't play, like less than 10 games a year, he would be like a top 15 wide receiver in the league.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah,
it's sad. Hollywood Brown, I couldn't.
He was huge on Hollywood. I don't know what he was thinking, but
I don't know about
he thinks KC wide receiver 1 Hollywood.
That's all Rice. Get out of here. TJ Hawkinson, Kendra Miller on your IR. That was smart.
Who's D Brown?
Diami Brown.
Oh, that's.
How many times are you gonna forget about this guy?
I'm gonna remember the name Diami now. What a unique name.
It's really unique. The 129th best wide receiver last year.
You should have went that for your son, bro. Diami Smith.
Diami? I don't think I could get away with Diami.
Miami.
Yeah,
welcome to Diami.
TJ Hawkinson, Kendra Miller. Nice use of your IR spots. That was smart during the draft. I'll give it to you. Finally, at number 1, we're going to put him up there again because, I mean, he won't win the league, so it doesn't matter. Apple, you're up here. Your biggest weakness, I'm going to say, is Najee Harris. That's your only weakness in my eyes right now.
I will point this out. I think Jerome Ford is a temporary starter. I don't know.
Yeah, obviously.
I don't know how many weeks he's going to be out there, but CMC fell to your lap again. I don't know what these guys are thinking.
It's an age thing for me. That's why I didn't take him personally.
But you got Polk, you got Worthy, who can explode. I don't know how good he's going to be, but Worthy has a lot of potential. Yeah,
if Jerome Ford, I think he's going to play for a few weeks, and then once he gets shut down, Xavier Worthy by then might be the number 2.
I like Christian Watson. If Christian Watson gets more touches, explosive.
You have a couple options on your bench, is what we're saying, to take care of your flex.
Rashad White, based off of volume, he's going to touch the ball.
He's going to get it a lot.
15 to 20 times a game.
Yep, he's going to get the points. Chris Olave
needs to step it up.
I wasn't huge on him this year, but he's the only guy down there.
Yeah.
As far as I can tell. Michael Pittman.
Not really competing for targets.
Needs Anthony Richardson to do something.
Yeah.
They have, Adonai Mitchell and Josh Downs. They're competing.
Is Flacco there now?
I think he's backing up.
I think that's a decent backup for... Flacco throws the ball.
Yeah. And then he got Njoku. We mentioned it earlier, but he's going to be good if... Oh, we didn't mention it on the podcast. We talked about it before the podcast. If Deshaun Watson can target David Njoku and use him correctly, this will be a great tight end. We saw it when Joe Flacco was there throwing him the ball. That's why he was number 6 last year. I don't know if it's going to happen again this year.
Me neither.
And that's your team. Patrick Mahomes at the top. I don't know if we said that, but
yep,
he is going to be top 3 quarterback. That's what he does.
Very little weaknesses. So
Taysom Hill was sneaky.
Good job, Apple.
Yeah, that's a good draft. I like it, Apple. Okay. Way to go, I guess.
That's all you get.
Next, we're going to go into punishments. This year, just like last year, we ended up choosing our own punishments. However, a lot of them are the same. So, I mean, let's just get into it. For Chris, he is going to do mine and Gifford's punishment. So this will be a podcast punishment if he does it. Moving from there, I chose to do a shot mile. You've heard of a milk mile, you've heard of a beer mile. But have you done a shot every lap during the mile?
That sounds treacherous.
I don't think so. And you know what? I'm going to change it right now. I will let other people choose what kind of shot. So I'm going to name it Random Shot Mile. God, I hope I win, and I hope that Chris loses.
Bacardi.
To mix in with that, maybe right after the mile, you go right into karaoke at a bar.
If I get last place, which is a high possibility I get last place this year, I'm going to be drunk out of my mind.
5-song random karaoke.
5?
That's how much Eric did, isn't it?
Damn, I don't remember 5
Pretty sure
songs.
it was 5.
I'm going to be so drunk, man.
Speaking of
might even become a drug addict that night.
Speaking of Eric, we have the milk mile. So just like mine,
My milkers.
He's moving on to Tatani, we have the pancake punishment. This is 24 hours in a 24-hour dining area.
Establishment, and
every large pancake that he eats
takes off an hour.
1 hour off. It's a pretty solid punishment that we've seen many times in everybody else's drafts or everybody else's leagues. So
Tatani is going to have to make his best Adam Richmond impression and scarf down 24 pancakes.
There you go. If you can do it, if anybody in the league's going to do it, I think
Tatani's a big boy, man.
Apple, you chose to do a wet draft. So
Kinky.
If you lose, you're going to be soaking during the draft. I don't know where you're going to be in the house if we do that, though.
With a wet t-shirt contest.
That's going to be tough.
Nipple showing.
And then everybody else chose to do the same punishment.
Tattoo.
So that includes Scott, Brittany, Paris, Sammy, Nate, and Tommy. If any of them lose, they're getting a tattoo.
God forbid Brittany doesn't get last again. She's finna get 2 tattoos in
I
a row.
want to say that Brittany did not get her tattoo because we are expecting a child, so you can't get a tattoo during that.
But
Some say that she only got pregnant because she didn't want to do the punishment. So, I mean, that's for her to decide. And
what a way to bail her out, buddy. What a stud. She'll have her new tattoo by Halloween, I'm assuming.
We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
We'll have to discuss it. Anyway, moving on from there. Finally,
predictions.
Predictions for week 1. Again, this year we are doing a bet. Whoever can do better will buy the other dinner.
We did not do it last year because we were so depressed last year that we lost track of our records.
I kind of fell off last year. That's my bad.
I missed some episodes. I am determined this year, no matter how good or bad my record is, to make every single episode this year because we were so pissy and depressed last year that we just.
I put out an episode every week. Don't
you
put
did.
that on me.
No, you did. No, time out. Y'all went on vacation one of those weeks and it didn't come out.
Do you not remember me recording in Vegas?
You were recording in Vegas.
Yeah. It wasn't great, but I recorded in Vegas.
Stumbling down the street.
Anyway,
here we go.
The first week 1 playoff, Jesus. The first week 1 matchup
Tommy in the playoffs exist in
absolutely me versus Tommy. And in this one, I'm going to keep it simple. I am choosing myself.
You got to.
The prediction or the projection is so close, less than half a point away. A little bit more. I like Kyler over Jordan. I like Brees over Taylor.
Of course you do.
Travis Etienne over Pollard. That's fine. Puka, I like him better than Brandon Ayuk. Nico, I like him more than Smith.
Your boy.
Trey McBride is going to be better than Kyle Pitts. Rome over Zay. Rasheed over Devyn. Like, it's easy for me.
Now that you brought up his flex players, I'm regretting this, but he bet against me, so I'm gonna bet against him. I am picking Tommy. The blind faith. Tommy, I think you gotta win this game, buddy.
He just wants to be different.
I just want to be different.
Next, we have Matt Apple versus Paris. And in this one, I'm just going to keep it easy. Both of us picked Apple.
A sneaky game though.
Yeah, this could be really good. I mean, like we said, Paris is a top 3 team, so we're not completely writing her off.
No, this is not week 1 of last year where we were roasting Paris for like 30 minutes. No, Paris has a great team.
We both genuinely think that, but unfortunately, Apple is going to win this one.
Yeah, I think Tyreek and CMC are going to cancel each other out.
Yep. Brittany or Goddard versus Team Stennis and Eric. I went with Brittany, and so did you.
I also did. It's going to be another close game now looking at it, but
at the moment,
something swindled me to picking Brittany. I think Amon-Ra just having a better quarterback. I don't know how Justin's going to perform off rip. And then I just think I like Jaden and Malik more than Kirk and Brandon. I think that's going to be the difference.
That's fine. I like it. Right now, as it stands, Eric is projected a little bit more.
Sure.
But, I mean, week 1 projections mean literally nothing.
Yeah.
Next up, Sammy versus Gifford.
I am the lowest projected person in the league, so
hey, wear that with pride.
I wear that with pride. I also want to mention this. I feel like they snub like Purdy's projection just like on a yearly. They never give him like 20 plus. So.
I mean, he's at 20.7.
But of course, obviously it's projections, but obviously the other quarterbacks are going to have 20 plus.
Josh Allen's going to be better anyway. It doesn't matter.
Against Arizona? Absolutely he is. Arizona sucks. Sorry, Apple.
Yeah, so anyway, if it isn't obvious, I'm picking Sammy. And, yeah.
Damn, you don't think Swift got the advantage over Gus Bus?
They're both not good.
Wow.
I think Swift is going to be better than Gus, but Kyron over Joe Mixon. If we want to go player by player, Josh Allen over Purdy, Kyron over Mixon, DeAndre Swift over Gus.
Toss up, I guess.
I like Chase more.
I guess that's a tough first matchup. San Francisco.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson is playing San Fran. I like Chase. Waddle, that's just proven.
Yeah.
And they're playing Buffalo. Marvin Harrison is playing Buffalo.
You like Kincaid more than
I like
Mark.
Kincaid more than Mark. Here I like Tank, and then I like Terry. So overall, it's
split decision.
But I like Sammy.
I gotta pick myself. It's gonna be every week. Me and Devin are gonna pick ourselves. That's just how it is.
That's how it is every year.
Yep.
Let's see. Nate versus Tatani. We both actually, despite the projection, picked Nate.
I don't know why now.
Jalen over Stafford. Gibbs over Barkley. I'd say Kamara over Jacobs, so it doesn't matter.
And then it gets kind of murky.
Then it keeps going murky. I see why it's saying Tatani more.
You know what?
Are you switching right now?
I am. Just to be different.
On the fly. Switching over to Tatani.
The champ's going to be 1-0 after week 1.
Okay.
Sorry, Nate. I love it. You're my guy, too. I'm sorry.
There's so much regret in your voice right now.
I know.
All right, Tatani. And finally, the last one is Chris versus Scott. That's the number 1 and number 2 pick in the draft.
Unfortunately, the number 1 pick made some questionable picks.
There were a couple weird.
Still a strong starting lineup, though. Don't get me wrong. Like this is Scott's strongest starting lineup in years.
You think so?
Yes.
And he's still got 8th in our power rankings. That's fine. Whatever. Anyway, I chose.
Put yourself at 10. So
yeah, exactly. I chose Chris.
The championship this year. Me too. I chose Chris.
Chris, you're gonna start at 1-0. You're welcome. Our predictions always come true.
My trade will pay off one day. Trust me.
All right, and with that is the end of week 1's precursor episode. We will see everybody in week 2. I'm Devin.
I'm Gifford. And we hope to see you at Chris's house this Sunday. Let's have a good time. Let's see some points scored. And I don't know. Let's just bust each other's balls. So
absolutely. And if you want to see any of our preseason content, go to our YouTube channel, and it's all there.
And if you have any friends who are into fantasy football, we are trying to build the channel and go viral. So please help us out.
Okay.
Bye.
I didn't say that. Bye.